Okay, you ready?
I think so.
Okay. So I'll start and then...
Yeah, that would be good.
Okay. It's so awkward. Hey Stitches, I'm Sam Cole and today... I'm gonna start over.
Okay.
Hey Stitches, I'm Sam Cole and in today's video we have a very special guest, my partner Tucker.
Hello.
I have seen a couple other booktubers do this video last year, but I thought it would be a lot of fun to do my partner picks my TBR, but spooky edition. I feel like you mostly read like thrillers or like spooky season type vibe. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, pretty much year round. Not the only thing, but the majority of books I read are always scary or spooky in some capacity.
Well, and we love spooky season. It's like in fall, it's like our favorite time of year. And so I thought this would be like the perfect time to do this and to pick some of your, like, because I mostly read more like fantasy or romance or like romantasy with a little bit of thrillers like thrown in, but not a ton. So I thought it was
romantasy.
Yeah, it's.
Is that a term?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, Fourth Wing was romantasy, or like
ACOTAR, or Crescent City.
Yeah, probably. Okay. It's basically just fantasy with like a heavy romance.
And I like fantasy too, but not with romance.
No, not as much. Like you prefer like. You liked Scythe, like that series, and like the Lord of the Rings.
For a YA one, yeah. And then Lord of the Rings and like The Witcher.
Yeah, those are good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought this would be the perfect time to do this video because we have similar tastes when it comes to like movies and books, but like when we were looking, we really haven't read like a ton
of lot of
each
other's books.
Yeah. And so, yeah. So I had him pick 3 books that he's gonna add to my spooky season TBR, so I'm gonna get it done during spooky season, and then I'll give my thoughts. And yeah, so
I'm kind of hoping that you do it quickly because I want to know.
Yeah.
I want to know what you think.
Well, I'll do it quickly, and then maybe you can add some more if I end up liking your choices. Maybe not, if not so much.
I think you will. I tried to pick stuff that I think you would like. Yeah, that I think you would enjoy.
That's good. Taking it easy on me.
You might be able to.
Yeah.
Make a guess at one of them.
All right. Well. Go ahead.
So you said I could choose the order.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So
you can just share them and then you can tell me the order after if you want to do that too.
Well, I'm gonna talk about them in like increasingly spookiness.
Okay.
So the first one is not very spooky, but I think it still qualifies for fall-ish, spooky-ish vibes, which is A Darker Shade of Magic. By V.E. Schwab.
Yeah.
The author of newly released books like The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, which I've not read yet, but I have it right there.
Yeah. We got the paperback because we both prefer paperback.
Yeah.
I like refuse to read a hardback unless
you have to.
Unless I have to, yeah.
So anyway, so this one's good. This is part of a trilogy, and I have not read the second 2 books, so 2 or 3 in the trilogy, but I did read this one a while ago, like a number of years ago.
And you really liked it.
I really liked it, and the copy that I have is like super used up.
Yeah.
Not a series person usually.
Yeah.
I typically like one-offs. So I'm not big on series, but I did read the first one and I really liked it. I still want to read the other 2, but I just haven't gotten around to doing it.
Well, and I love series and I love fantasy.
Yeah, and I think we thought it'd be fun if you you tell me what you know about it. So, honestly. So what do you know
about this one? Well, I have heard obviously amazing things about V.E. Schwab, but I have not read any of her books. Is that true?
That is true.
Yeah, that's true. I haven't read any of her books, which is crazy to think of because, I mean, she's a pretty big name when it comes to, like, the fantasy world.
In recent years,
In recent years, yeah. And so I feel like everyone, like, has read, like, her newer books, like The Vicious and
Addie LaRue.
Yeah, and those.
I have The Near Witch over there. And then she has that, she also does YA books. And she has...
Gallant.
Gallant, that's it.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Which I also would like to try.
Yeah, me too. Well, anyway, she's been on my radar for a while, and especially since, like, we've had these on our shelves for a little bit. I keep thinking of them, but this is a good excuse to actually read it. So...
Yeah. So what do you know?
What do I know? I think.
Without
I know
looking
it's.
at the back.
Yeah, I'm not gonna read the back. I know that it's like a fantasy, and I think that there's some sort of like hopping between worlds or like that type of vibe. Yeah,
That
like
gives a pretty good hint.
the cover kind of foreshadows that. But I think there's some sort of like, I don't know if it's world or time or whatever travel.
So you don't know a ton.
No, I basically know nothing.
Okay.
I know there's magic.
What do you want me to tell you? Like how much do you want me to tell you?
You don't have to tell me pretty much anything. I prefer to go blind.
Okay, yeah, it's a fantasy,
Yeah.
and I think you would like it because you really like London, and it has a lot to do with London, which is cool. And you like books that have like magic systems where it's not just like anybody has magic.
Yeah.
And this is
cool.
This qualifies for that. Okay. It has like a strict magic system. Spookier than that by a significant margin, I would say, is The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides is how I pronounce it. I don't know if that's correct or not. This is a lot spookier than that. It's like more of like a thriller. It's not a fantasy. It's more of a thriller-y mystery type book. And again, I read it quite a while ago, so I don't remember a ton.
Okay.
But I really, really, really liked it.
I remember that.
As soon as I read it, I was like in love with it. Finished it really quickly, and then I also read The Maidens, which is his other book that came out more recently than this one did. And they're not a series or anything, but they do take place in the same universe.
Okay. So like interconnected standalones.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So,
cool.
What do you know about
The Silent Patient? I do remember you reading this,
and I think it's popular on YouTube, right?
Oh yeah.
For YouTubers.
Oh yeah.
I think. Like
I'm sure I'm late to the game on this. I think a lot of people have read this already, but
I mean, it came out a while ago.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have read it, but I remember when you read it and you were like pretty spooked. Like you were like the environment of it was like really good. Honestly.
And I avoided it because I hated the cover.
Yeah.
I really am not a fan of this cover.
Yeah.
It's grown on me, but I'm really not a fan of the cover,
Yeah.
and I was like hesitant to read it because I like need a good cover in order to read a book.
I'm the same way.
So I was hesitant about it, but then I was like, well, everybody's talking about this. I should give it a try. And I actually really did like it.
Yeah, I remember you really raving about it. Honestly, I don't remember a whole lot about this. I think there's something to do with a silent patient. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
Right.
I'm pretty sure it's about like this woman who has like done something, like maybe a crime or something, but she's not talking. No. That's not it.
No, you're not wrong.
And she's not talking.
And then she's silent
And then
about
she's
it?
silent. And then
Okay.
there's someone like, is it like maybe her doctor is like trying to work with her and like.
Yeah, sure.
That's
Let's
what I know.
Let's go with that. I would say thriller, mystery. I would not call it a horror.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. That's valid. Cool.
And then working our way up the spooky ladder. Stephen King's Pet Sematary. Which
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of. I love Stephen King. I have read a significant number of his books. Not all of them by any means.
I'll have to show them your collection.
That's a good idea.
He collects the.
I like to collect old Kings.
Yeah.
I wanted to do it for a while, and then one year for my birthday or something, you got me a bunch of old editions, which was really cool.
I'll have to put that and show it on here. It's really cool.
We do have a Pet Sematary.
Yeah, let me go grab it.
Careful, my car. Yeah, so she will not be reading this one.
No.
I will not read these ones because they're just too cool to touch.
Yeah, right.
I try not to touch them too much, but anyway, they're really cool. This is obviously from the most recent movie.
Yeah.
The cover is, which, you might have mixed opinions about. I thought it was fine, but some people
and it's not bad for a movie cover, because sometimes I feel like when they have movie covers are pretty bad normally. But
no, this one's pretty good. So there's a bunch of options that I could have had you read from King.
Because this will be my first King.
Yeah, this was my first King.
Okay.
And it's one of those books that I read a long time ago, like years and years ago, and I can remember like the exact week, like everything that I did on every day of that week that I read it from.
Yeah.
And I smell the smells that I smelled during that week.
Like a huge like moment in time.
Yeah. I really love this book, and I think it's like a really good introduction to King. It's not too long, which some of his books can be like really
Obnoxious.
laboriously long, like It or 11/22/63 or The Stand. Those are all really long.
Very
This one is
intimidating.
a lot more brief, but it is, I would consider it a horror. And it's spooky, but it still has characters that you like.
Yeah, it's
it
still
checks all the
likable.
good boxes, so I think you're gonna like it a lot.
Yeah, and I know a decent amount about this one. We always do our spooky season movie marathon, and
do we watch Pet Sematary?
Yeah, for that one year we did both of them. We watched both of them back to back. Yeah.
Well, then you ought to know a decent amount.
Yeah, so I know a decent amount, but I think
there's a cat in it.
There's a cat. That's all I know. No. I remember we watched the one. I think it was the most recent one.
Yeah.
And I sobbed at the end. I hated the ending of that one.
Oh yeah, you did not like the ending.
I hated it.
Yeah.
Something
but the ending
about
of the
it
new
really
movie is different.
It is different, and it's not a bad ending. It was just so shocking and not what I, not exactly a happy ending, but yeah. So yeah, I know basically.
You know what
the
you need to
gist
know.
of what I need to know for this. But yeah, I was just seeing the Sometimes Dead is Better. That's really what I remember.
I really want to get that tattooed.
That'd be sick.
Really bad.
Yeah. So yeah, I know basically everything that you need to know about it. But I'm very excited to actually read King, and I think that'll
You've
make it.
You've been talking about reading him for a while.
Oh yeah, and I feel like you can't really call yourself a spooky season lover without at least dipping your toes in.
Yeah, I mean, I think you'll like it. It's kind of what got me hooked on him.
Yeah.
I don't like all of his books.
Right.
I can look at a few on the shelf right now that
weren't your favorites.
I hated actually, but most of them most put it in the comments if you have a guess as to which one I hated. Yes. I know you don't know me at all, but
Yeah, if you know anything about King.
If you know anything about King.
Very disturbing one.
So yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm super excited. I'm glad you picked this one. I knew that when we did this, you'd probably pick a King, and I was curious as to which one you would pick. I knew you would pick a King, but I wasn't sure which one, and so I'm not surprised, but I'm happy.
It was up in the air for me as well.
So I'm glad you picked this one. I think it'll be good. So, okay, so I said you could also pick the order that I read them in, and then when you pick that order, I also want you to think, guess the rating that I would do it. I'm pretty nice with my ratings, but it takes a little bit to be a 5-star.
Pet Sematary first, because I want you to read it really bad.
Okay.
And I think you're gonna give it a 3.5.
3.5? Okay.
Hopefully a 4.
Yeah.
But you can be kind of unpredictable when it comes to spooky stuff.
You're right.
Some things that I think you'll love, you're like, wow, I hated that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go in the middle and say 3.5.
Okay.
And then you can read... this.
Okay. Darker Shade of Magic.
Yeah. I can never remember the title of that
That's
book.
fair. They're all basically the same
but
in the
also
series,
not.
but different. Yeah.
Yeah, I can never remember the titles.
Okay, and then...
then the V.E. Schwab book, and I think you're going to like that a lot. I do think it has some problems being the first in a fantasy trilogy.
Okay.
So sometimes the pacing feels off, but I think you'll give it a 4.
A 4? Yeah.
And I think you'll probably end up reading the other ones.
Yeah. I'm pretty generous.
You might give it a 4.5, actually, because
4.5.
it's got the London vibe.
Yeah.
I think it's going to strike a chord.
I am pretty forgiving for fantasies, especially the first in a series, because I understand there has to be some...
And then you can close out on The Silent Patient.
Okay.
And I think you're going to give this a...
Moment of truth.
I think that you're going to give this a 5.
Oh, wow. You think it's going to be a 5-star?
Yeah.
I'm going to get that 5-star feeling, you think, from this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which you told me about today.
Yeah. Everyone knows what the 5-star feeling is.
I did not until you told me about it today. So
there's just a different...
I think you're going to like that one a lot, and then
Okay.
I think you're going to immediately want to read The Maidens, but we only have it in hardback, so I think you're going to make us go buy a paperback.
Yeah.
Which will kind of suck, but it's fine.
All right. Okay, so I'm going to read Pet Sematary, Darker Shade of Magic, and then The Silent Patient. I'm super excited. I am excited to see,
And you finished your book last night,
I
which means that you can
did.
start today. Yay! Stephen King.
Yay! All right, so I'll get started reading them, and then at the end we can, circle back and you can see how correct you were.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't even remember what my guesses were, but I think I said...
It's on the record, so...
Okay.
The record will
I think
know.
I said...
3.5.
Or 4.
3.5 or 4.
4.5.
Yeah.
And a 5.
So you think it's going to get better as I read.
Yeah, but I don't want you to like The King the least, because it's my favorite of the 3. That would be a bummer. Well, maybe you'll surprise me.
We'll see.
Okay, alright.
So, catch ya on the flippity flip, bro.
Yeah.
Peace.
I don't know if I'll ever be in a video again, but
Let me
it
know.
was nice.
Let me know if you want more Tucker on the channel.
Or don't, because then if they don't, I'm going to feel bad about myself.
Yeah, just say that you want it, just so he feels good. I'm just kidding. Alright, well, peace.